So hey guys, we want to make something different today. So we covered PTE for like a few weeks already, like all the tips and the tricks and whatnot. So I wanted to ask a bigger question. So is it better for you to take PTE or IELTS? So I'm going to discuss the tests and the differences, and at the end of the video, hopefully you can make a choice. So let's start, shall we? So first thing that I want to mention to everyone is that the test setup for IELTS and PTE is quite different. For IELTS, you have an option of taking a computerized version or a handwritten version, which I took, which actually most people have taken probably. But for PTE, the test is only taken by computer. So if you're planning to take those tests, you guys, you want to consider technology, because I know that some people are more keen on writing their stuff. But when it comes to PTE, only computers are accepted. So the test structure is one thing, either computerized or handwritten. So point number 2 that I want to mention, you guys, is I would say the pointing system. So the point system for IELTS goes in this manner. You do one subtest, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and you get points on those subtests exclusively. And also, the IELTS test has a subjective portion. And by subjective, I mean that a human is checking your outputs. So for IELTS, you do speaking and writing in a subjective manner. So someone checks your essays and whatnot, and for speaking, you talk with an examiner. So the thing with PTE though, you guys, is quite the direct opposite of it. The PTE test is entirely computerized. The whole thing is done in a session of 3 hours, and you get the scores ASAP. So that happens because the computer is the one checking your scores. Unlike IELTS, you get your scores in quite a while. So PTE, I would say, is going to be a bit more strict in some sections, because if the computer doesn't recognize your speech, you essentially lose all the points for those questions. So PTE, computerized, IELTS, checked by humans in speaking and writing. So point number 3, the visa applications for this one. So IELTS can be used for any type of visa, guaranteed. Like IELTS is probably the one test that is virtually accepted globally and for any type of visa. PTE though, you guys, is quite the same, but I would say there's a few exceptions. So one of our most notable issues that we have for PTE is that it cannot be used for teachers for the registration. So when it comes to the visa type that you want to have, if you got quite a specific occupation, it might not be an option for you to take PTE. So I would say when it comes to visa types, IELTS would be better than PTE, like getting all the visa types. So PTE is still considerably good, especially for a lot of people. So in some exceptions, you can do PTE, but for most people, PTE is still acceptable. And the last point, and probably the biggest one that I want to discuss now, is which one is easier, you guys? Is it IELTS or PTE? So I took both exams, and I also taught both exams as well. So I can give you my opinion on this one. So when it comes to IELTS, since a human is checking your speaking and your writing, it might not be that easy to get superior scores like 8 when it comes to those subtests, because it's an examiner, and of course, you guys, when someone checks your scores, it might not be really a good way of measuring your knowledge. Whereas for PTE though, you guys, the whole thing is computerized, and I'm more keen on doing PTE because I know that if you do certain tricks and certain tips that we do, you pretty much can get high scores in PTE. So not one or the other is usually better, but on my case, and probably for most cases for everyone else, if you need like high scores like 79 or 8, PTE would be the better option. But if you just need if you want to be comfortable in speaking, let's say you want to talk to a person instead of a computer, then IELTS would probably be a better choice. But all honesty, you guys, I would prefer PTE over IELTS simply because it's a computer-based test and there's no human bias. So yeah, hopefully you got some insights. So there you have it, you guys, a quick comparison for IELTS and PTE. Just some of the basic points that I want to touch on, and also my personal opinions on both exams since I took both exams before. So hopefully that made you pick something in between, but either way, you guys, hopefully this is a helpful video for you today. So thanks for hopping in today. I will see you on the next one.